number to send your messages to is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, so you can catch that live stream up on our YouTube channel. It's Smooth981 on YouTube. Fisayo Durojaye, General Partner, Ancestors Advisory. Good morning, Fisayo, and welcome to Business Express.
Good morning, Zibby. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everyone listening and watching. It's great to be here.
All right. So we're going to talk about the topic basically is Nigeria blocking access to 3 crypto sites to defend the Naira. Fisayo, jumping straight right in. What do you make of this decision by the government to block access to these crypto exchanges?
It appears, I mean, there are many things I want to say, but it appears that, we don't learn from history. Again, this is not history of 16th century. This is history from just the last administration, right? Everything Nigeria is trying to do today, the last government did and did not defend the Naira. It's like putting a band-aid on a major wound. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, right? The issue around the Naira and the dollar is obviously the issue of supply and demand. So when government then try to focus on demand management rather than improving supply, these are the kind of issues you continue to have when you're trying to, to look for, low-hanging victims, as it were. So crypto exchanges, you just ban them. Again, these were the things that the last CBN governor did in conjunction with law enforcement agents, right? We've seen that this government had tried to, what's it called? I tried to raid, BDCs and all of that, and this kind of actions, signal panic in the markets, and of course the demand for dollar increases because we're like, well, if the government is doing this, I'll have to buy more dollars and keep. That's what happens, right? So that's number one thing I wanted to say. If you don't learn from history, history is meant to repeat itself. Number two is that to say, what they call that thing, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results?
Sorry, say that again, please.
So, I said, what do they call that thing of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result?
I have a term for that, but it's probably not too polite.
so so again, I think that's what is happening again because you're doing exactly the same thing that was done that didn't yield any result, and you hope that this time around it's going to yield this. Different results. Again, it is what it is, right? It's not going to happen, right? So I think it's just some of those ill-advised type policy driven by I don't know. And of course, we expected more from a government led by former governor of Lagos State, right? We expected more from people that have from CBN governor that has led a global bank in Nigeria before. He had led Citibank here in Nigeria before. Again, we expected more from people that are driving policies in this season. But again, it's just such a disappointment that they're doing exactly the same thing that Emefiele did. They're doing exactly the same thing that Magu did with EFCC. They're doing exactly the same thing where that everyone in the last administration did. So what's the point, anyways?
Wow. Now, I mean, just you've spoken a little bit about the history from, like you said, not ancient history, but just from a few months ago, basically. The government had earlier decided to defer to the SEC on crypto. So is this like a U-turn?
I think there's something about Yoruba people that say something around when you're looking for something, you just look for it in different places, right? So it's like you're looking for your car. Maybe your car is missing. You parked it outside and you're looking under the gutter. It doesn't make sense that you're looking for your car. Like, is it under the gutter? It's one of those things that you're trying to defend the Naira so much that that you're just throwing everything at it. Right. When the solution is simple, when the solution is simple but yet difficult to implement, right? It's just that intellectual sincerity, intellectual curiosity. It's just that that intellectual honesty that is required, to deal with this problem. So, now people are saying that who is in charge of crypto? Is crypto a currency, or is it an investment asset class? That's the problem we are still having today. If it's a currency, then it's a CBN matter. If it's an investment asset class, then it's a SEC matter. So which one is it? How is the regulation in Nigeria defining what cryptocurrency is? Is it seeing it as a currency, as a medium of exchange? In that case, it will be a CBN purview, or is it seeing it as an investment, long-term or short-term investment asset class? In which case, the Securities and Exchange Commission covers it. So I guess that crypto straddles both, right? Because people claim that crypto, I mean, that's why I call it cryptocurrency, right? There's a currency behind it to say it is used as a virtual currency. It can be used as a medium of exchange. And people then say that, well, it can also be used as a medium for investment, because again, people can buy cryptocurrency and keep and hold, because the price of this cryptocurrency, versus fiat, continues to increase. So again, how do you deal with it? I guess that's where the problem is. If you had handed over that to SEC before, why is the CBN, showing up again and dealing with it? And of course, what I will expect SEC's response to say, well, this is not under your purview. This is under my purview. Leave it to me. But SEC is maybe the SEC under this. I don't know the Director General of SEC right now, but maybe again, he's just trying to protect his own job or our own job. I don't know who the person is, right? So again, we'll see how it goes. These are some of the, say, policy, dissonance or incoherence, within the government. So again, I don't know the answer to the question. It's anywhere Beleface, I guess.
So what do you think can actually be done to address this continuous slide in that's happening to the Naira?
Okay. So this is a macroeconomic question, not tech. Right. So from macroeconomic perspective, again, it is like I said, it's a demand and supply matter. Nigeria doesn't control the dollar. You earn dollars, right? So it's the amount of dollars you earn as a country that you're able to supply it to your own, importers, because again, they buy currency. They buy goods or import goods in dollars. So if you want to earn dollars, it means that as a country, we have to export more stuff so that we can earn more dollars. If you want to then buy dollars, you have to then have from that your excess dollars to be able to buy. Again, this is layman type explanation. So right now that today, the oil and gas is the major revenue earner for the government, meaning that when they sell crude, they earn dollars, and of course it's from that dollars that that they're able to then supply to every other person that imports. But Nigeria is largely import dependent, meaning that you import a lot of stuff right into the country, and that's why I remember the last CBN governor banned some 41 items from accessing dollars from the official window, because they're like, well, there's so much pressure. Again, demand management, which was the right in the first step, the step in the right direction initially, was deregulation. Well, not deregulation, removal of the fuel subsidy. Because again, when you earn dollars and you're not taking that money converted to naira and then paying subsidies to importers, again, that's expensive, expensive expense, right? So remove the fuel subsidy. However, that's not the only step to be taken, which is where the problem really is. You remove fuel subsidy, but you still left, some of those, import licenses with a few hands. What the regulation does is that it breeds competition. Someone like me should like, I have access to a refinery in Finland, and they're able to supply me, petroleum products. I should be able to import those products into the country, pay, and then of course drive down prices based on the fact that they are. So what the regulator should be doing is to ensure that yes, the quality of product remains the same. If I'm able to say import it for cheaper, why am I not being allowed to do that? So some of those things are the things that need to then drive down, say inflationary pressures that CBN is chasing shadows over with the monetary policy instrument that it has. Again, there are many things to discuss in here, but the most important thing here is that you have to earn more dollars. Support local refining. We've been talking about Dangote refinery for 10 years or for 15 years right now. You support modular refineries so that exports can happen a lot more, and once export happens, you're able to earn a lot more dollars in the country, and then less pressure on your naira. On your dollar facility. Reform the Nigerian Port Authority. All this nonsense that NPA is now a revenue generating authority. It should support exporters to ensure that they're able to export seamlessly out of the country. Again, there are many things that need to be done. These are wholesale reforms that need to be done. Not, trying to export goods out of Nigeria, and you're being frustrated by the same, agencies of government. And those are ridiculous things. You're trying to sell things abroad, and you get to the port, and your goods get wasted. The last, agricultural minister tried to do the same thing, tried to export yam out of the country, got ports in the ports. Ministry to ministry, these are strange things that happen in this country that shouldn't be allowed to happen. Anyways.
Okay. All right. Let's look at some of the messages we have coming through. This one is from Bumi. Bumi says, I disagree with Fisayo. All economies,
Okay.
even developed ones, manage their currency. And if certain individuals or platforms decide to manipulate the currency to their own benefit at the detriment
What
of
does it
our
mean
own
by
economy.
manipulate? What does it mean by manipulate? How did they
Fisayo,
manipulate?
let me finish the message. They should be stopped. Okay.
Okay. So they stopped. Sorry, Zibby. They stopped. Zibby. They stopped Aboki effects last time. What was the result? What's she saying? What
Okay.
happened? They're not
Let's
manipulating
move.
currency. It's a demand and supply.
Okay, let's look
So
at the
what?
next
Okay.
question, Fisayo. This one is
Please go
from
ahead.
Cisco Delgado, and he says, to control declining of Naira is not rocket science. Let the FGN revive our SMEs towards production of locally manufactured items that we are not supposed to import into the country and not depend on the oil sector alone. Ojua Lakbe says, we all
Go
know
last
demand
point.
and supply. Okay, thank you. Says, we all know demand and supply doesn't work as far as Nigeria is concerned, especially when money is involved. Or can you think of any time the law of demand and supply has worked? No, don't mention telcos. Have you observed that the Naira has been on a free fall since there's been an increase in FARC allocations to states? Politicians are the ones mopping up the dollars. Okay, so we have just about 2 minutes to go, and I want us to talk about cybersecurity, Fisaya. According to a study by Kaspersky, which is a cybersecurity site, a total of 2023 attacks in Nigeria were down. 10% of banking malware attacks were up by 8%. Please interpret this data because it's looking like just figures to me right now.
Yes. So essentially saying that malware is a short form for saying malicious software. Right. And of course, there are different types of it, right? So saying that Nigeria's banking system had increased in malicious software, meaning that there are different forms of it. So say ransomware, where someone get access to your credit and say, okay, you have to pay ransom to be able to get access back to your login details, or what, or pay some ransom before you get access to your banking details. So saying that, while overall threats within Nigeria's, cybersecurity space was down, but there was an increase in those kind of attacks, especially from malicious software. I think it said increased by 10% or something like that. No, it said everything decreased by 10%, but that one increased by 8%. In Nigeria specifically, and of course there are also data around South Africa, data around Egypt, Saudi Arabia, again, based on what they are seeing across. I think that one thing I just want to also mention is around phishing attacks, which is, using, say, social engineering to say, your bank says that you've won this lottery, click on this thing, to access your reward. And of course, people then go ahead and click or download, something, and then of course they lose access to their credentials based on some of those actions that they take based on that. Again, these are some of the things that people need to be a lot more careful around when it comes to cybersecurity and of course safety, in our online safety, as it were.
Okay, we're out of time, but I'm going to read two more messages. This one's from Bumi. Bumi says Aboki FX is a different platform from the ones being manipulated or the ones manipulating right now. Cisco Delgado says cybersecurity is the protection to defend internet-connected devices. Thank you for the crash course, Cisco Delgado. In Nigeria, we are yet to understand the importance of cybersecurity. Fine Olugboroko says crypto is a currency. Therefore, the CBN should be able to manage it. However, this should be done carefully. And he adds carefully O for emphasis. All right. Well, thank you so
Perfect.
much for listening. Thanks for your messages. Special thanks to Fisayo Durojaye for joining us this morning. Fisayo Durojaye, General Partner, Ancestors Advisory. Thank you, Fisayo.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
And that's it for Business Express. Do stay with us. There's a lot more to come on